Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I missed filming this sit down videos where I actually only chat and share my thoughts with you. The topic of the video is pretty exciting because we're gonna talk about New York. And why are we doing that? Just because, if you know, I have lived in New York for a while, but with all the things that were going on in the world, we decided to move back to Istanbul, and it's been almost 2 years, let's say 1.5, more than 1.5 years that I haven't been in New York. It just seems like it was another life, you know? I miss it so much. I can wait to be back. I literally can't wait to be back. I sometimes dream about New York. And I'm excited to say that we will be visiting really soon. Yesterday, I guess, or the day before, I literally was dreaming of the things that I miss about this city. I was like, oh my god, I miss that and that and that and that and that. And I was like, okay, let's make a video about that. So I sat down, made a literally list of the things that I miss about New York City. Are they personal? Yes, they're very personal. Maybe some of the things that I will mention in this video you'll be like, huh, like why would someone miss that or another thing. But that's what I can't wait to redo, re-eat and relive, I guess, in New York. Let's get started. They're not in a particular order, so there's nothing like, oh, I missed that more than that or something like that. I was just writing down everything that came to my mind. And the first thing, if you would ask me, let's say 2 years ago, I would probably never say that I would someday miss that, but I miss FIT. I miss the community. I just miss saying that I am a student of FIT, and unfortunately, if you have watched my previous vlogs, I couldn't even get my diploma in person because I was finishing up my degree here in Istanbul with the time difference and all of the things. I was doing the online classes and couldn't even get my diploma in person, so I'm gonna cry. I will definitely visit college once I'm back, just to, you know, spice up some memories, I guess. So the second thing is that we were living on the Upper East Side and we weren't really planning on living there, like it just happened so randomly. We found an apartment that were a nice one, a nice option, so we rented it out. But we loved Upper East Side so much. I literally could not imagine a better place to live. I mean, there are obviously better neighborhoods, maybe, I don't know, but we loved it so much. We enjoyed it so much. The best part was that there is not much tourists, especially if you live on like the closer side to the East River. Gives you the neighborhood vibes, and I miss our evening strolls, our morning strolls, our any part of the day strolls around the neighborhood. It literally was my favorite part of today. I should say that there will be a lot of things that I will mention about like food related things, because in New York you can find the best of everything, and that's what makes the city special, I guess. So let's talk about the sugarfish. I think that I loved sushi more after trying sugarfish, and our sugarfish dates were always special. Sometimes we would dine in, sometimes we would just take a takeout, sit down on the stairs and eat our sugarfish takeout. So that's what I really miss. The warm rice they put in, like I have never experienced that before. Maybe someone does that, I don't know. Like I ate that only in sugarfish, but that's like the perfect sushi for me. Not an expert obviously, but I just miss that. Another food related thing is what made me love matcha, and that's iced oat matcha latte at Blue Bottle Coffee. During the pandemic, like before we moved back to Istanbul, that was highlight of my day, to stroll around the neighborhood. We would just walk down to Midtown and get my iced oat matcha latte. I miss that so much. That might be also the first thing that I'll get once I'm back. Okay, let's talk about public transportation that you can easily use throughout the day and night. There is like one of the best public transportation system. I am not a fan of driving, like I have a car here in Istanbul, but that's just because using public transportation here is definitely more difficult than having a car. Having a car is also difficult in Istanbul. Okay, the sixth one is the work related, and it's so easy to create content in New York. Whether it's for Instagram, Reels, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. It's just so easy. You go out and the content is everywhere because New York is very aesthetically pleasing. There's always something happening on the streets. So it's just like the easiest thing to do is to create content. That's what I miss a lot. It's just like, it's convenient. Another neighborhood that I really miss, and I don't know what kind of relationship I have with Dumbo, but I guess it's because The first place that I visited when I first visited New York was Dumbo, and it was also the last place we visited before leaving. So I definitely have a different kind of relationship with Dumbo, and I really miss Dumbo, especially like seeing the Manhattan during night from the Dumbo. It's just special. I miss it. I do. Our Central Park picnics. As I already said, we were living more uptown, so we were on the 79th Street. That's where Central Park is not that much touristy, which is great for locals. So we would just go there, have our picnics almost every single day when the weather is nice. And it's so nice. Like it was so good. It literally saved our whole like pandemic time, because all we did was strolling around the neighborhood and having our Central Park picnics. Street musicians, they're everywhere. They make me happy. That's all I'm gonna say. I miss street musicians. People being kind. Some people I know that think that Americans kind of overact the kindness, but you know, it might be true in some occasions, but the kind vibe that people give you on the streets, the compliments, like the smiles, it just makes your day. I miss that kindness. I definitely do miss that kindness. Before moving on, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. I talked about Skillshare on this channel, I don't know, a million times before, and I'm sure you know already what Skillshare is, but if you don't know, Skillshare is the perfect online learning community with literally thousands of inspiring classes for everyone who wants to explore and expand their creativity, learn new skills, and invest in themselves. I'm more than sure that you'll find your niche on Skillshare and something that interests you, because there are already thousands of nice classes, but they also launch new premium classes each week. So there is always something to discover. So far, I took a variety of classes myself, from social media related ones to cooking, productivity, and minimalism. Also, Skillshare is ad-free, so you can stay in the zone while you're exploring new skills. The best part is that first 1,000 people who click the link in the description box or use my code PORTRASANOVA will get a month free trial on Skillshare. So definitely check it out. It's all in the description box, and I wanted to thank Skillshare once again for sponsoring this video. 11 is dairy-free options and the easiness to get them in the supermarkets. I wasn't really taking advantage of that one when I was living there, and I'm not completely dairy-free, by the way, but I have eczema, which is a skin condition, and now I know that dairy is a little bit provocating my skin, so whenever I have a chance to use a dairy-free option, I do. But in Turkey, it's a little bit harder to find dairy-free options to what we used to eat and consume. Christmas markets at Bryant Park, and Bryant Park overall. If you ask me my favorite park in the city, that would definitely be Bryant Park, even though I love like the Dumbo, the Central Park, the Prospect Park. I love them all, but my favorite will be Bryant Park forever, I guess. And the Christmas markets are some, you know, it's just special. It's just special. 13. Never-ending apartment hunting. Even though finding a nice apartment in the city, it's always pain, it's still an activity that we enjoyed so much. Like we would just, you know, like visiting Street Easy or like Zillow or like other sites, it just becomes a part of your daily routine, even if you're not looking for a new apartment. If you live in New York, you are always on the hunt for a better option, because there is never the best option of an apartment. I mean, unless you pay like some billions to live in your dream New York City apartment, but until then, there's always something missing in the apartments, or you're always on the hunt, kind of. And I miss that for some reason, I don't know, yeah. Montauk was our #1 getaway whenever we feel like we just need to go away from the city and from the whole life and problems, or whenever we felt happy about something, we would always go to Montauk to celebrate. My now husband, back then boyfriend, proposed to me in Montauk, so it will always be a special place for us. We had our biggest fight in Montauk. Like, there's just a lot of things what happened there, so our trips to Montauk, something that I will cherish forever, and I miss, and I can't wait to go back. I can't. Yeah. The sunsets. I don't know what else to say. The sunsets in the city. It's different. Definitely think that Californian sunsets are always on fire, but there's something special about sunsets in New York as well. Cool coffee shops. There are tons of unique coffee shops, and like visiting different coffee shops is another activity on its own if you're in New York. They're all cool, all unique. My favorite ones are Underground Support, Saturdays, and even the Ralph's that is on the Upper East Side. It's just different, you know, like Upstate Stock is another good one. We're coming to an end. Even though I would just go on and on and on and on, I made 20 things that I missed the most. So here are they, and we have last 4. Spending time in different neighborhoods. Some days we will be like, okay, let's explore Williamsburg today, and we'll go there in the morning and come back at night. And there's always something to do, to eat, to try, to see. So, or some days we will be like, okay, let's go on the Upper West Side, or like a different area of the Upper East or downtown. And it's always nice to be in a different local area of the city. I feel like New York has the best vintage shops, local shops, secondhand shops. Even if you're not looking to buy something, it's an activity to stroll around and see what they have. Obviously, rooftops. If you ask me how often you would just go to a rooftop, maybe not really often, but the realization that you have that opportunity to go on the rooftop and have your cocktail, mocktail, whatever you're having, and see the city from above, it's just nice, you know. I miss that. Oh my god, I literally say I miss that after everything that I say, but what can I do? I miss that. Last but definitely not least, there is always something to do in New York City. Like, I wouldn't really realize how time passes, and that was even one of the topics of my videos on my Turkish channel, that when you're staying in New York, like when you're not leaving your apartment for a day or two, you literally have a FOMO that you're missing on something, because there's always something going on. No matter what period of year it is, it's always entertaining. Okay, so that's all for today. As I said, I can make a never-ending list of the things that I miss about New York, but these are the 20 things that came to my mind at first. I just can't wait to be back and to relive all the things that I mentioned in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching, and once again I wanted to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!